Audio Jungle.
Walang makahahadlang, walang maiiwan. Sama-samang lilipad, kamtin ang pangarap. Sa hamong kinakaharap, patuloy na aangat. Edukasyon para sa lahat, sulong edukalidad. Ito ang Masinlong School on the Air at mapakikinggan sa Serbisyong Putog Radio, DWSP 101.5 News FM.
Good day, Masinloc Zambales. Good day to our beloved learners from grade 7. This is your on-air teacher, Teacher Jenny Movilla Marilla, always at the service for the Filipino learners. Yours truly is from Bamban National High School. I will facilitate you in maximizing your participation as you learn today's lesson. Welcome to Mathematics 7 class, a new venture in learning parallel lines cut by a transversals. I will guide you in the third quarter on the third lesson this week. Are you all ready, students, to embark on the journey toward learning mathematics via radio? Wow, that's great! This morning, make sure that you are all on your comfortable seats and properly listening to our broadcast. At this moment, please get your notebook and ballpen to take down notes about the lesson that I'm going to discuss. Grade 7 mathematics subject for the third quarter concentrate on the understanding of key concept of geometry, shapes, and sizes, and geometric relationships. So, our lesson for today is about a relationship among angles formed by a parallel lines cut by a transversal using measurement and by inductive reasoning. Yes, you heard it right. Parallel lines cut by a transversal. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to identify the angles formed by a parallel lines cut by a transversal and determine the relationship between pairs of angles formed by a parallel lines cut by a transversal using measurement and by inductive reasoning. Before we proceed to our lesson, let us first identify each pair of angles. If it is adjacent, complementary, linear pair, supplementary, or vertical. Okay, let's have number 1. Given the angle 1 and angle 2, what is your answer? You are right, the answer is adjacent. How about number 2? We have angle 3 and angle 4. The answer is vertical angle. Very good. Next, number 3. Given angle 5 and angle 6. Correct. The answer is adjacent angle. Let's now proceed to number 4. Given the angle 7 and angle 8. The answer is the answer is supplementary or linear pair. Last one, number 5. Given the measure of two angles, 35 degrees and 55 degrees. What did you notice? What is the sum of two angles? So, what pair of angle is it? Very Very good! That is complementary angles. If you have a question regarding our week 2 lesson, do not hesitate to ask your subject teacher. They will surely help you. Now, let's proceed to our week 3 lesson, which is parallel lines cut by a transversal. In this week lesson, you will learn how to name and identify angle pairs formed by a parallel lines and transversal and recognize their relationship to find a missing angle. In the diagram, line CD and line AB are parallel because line EF cuts line CD and line AB. The line EF is the transversal. When we say transversal, it is a line that intersects two lines in the same plane at two different points. So, the two parallel lines, line CD and line AB, cut by the transversal line EF. G and H are points of intersection. So, let us now study on how to find the measure of each angle formed. Given the figure, what is the measure of angle AHG? If the measure of the angle CGE is equal to 140 degrees. Remember that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then corresponding angles are congruent. Since angle CGE and angle AHG are corresponding angles, it means they are congruent. Therefore, if angle CGE is equal to 140 degrees, therefore the measure of angle AHG is also 140 degrees. Next, what is the measure of angle BHG if the measure of angle DGE is equal to 40 degrees? Again, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then corresponding angles are congruent. Since they are corresponding angle, they are congruent. Therefore, if angle DGE is equal to 40 degrees, therefore the measure of angle BHG is also 40 degrees. Next, what is the measure of angle BHF if the measure of angle DGH is 140 degrees? Since they are corresponding angle, they are congruent. So, if the measure of angle DGH is 140 degrees, therefore the measure of angle BHF is equal to 140 degrees. Next, if the measure of angle CGH is equal to 40 degrees, find the measure of angle BHG. Okay, for this problem, remember this rule. If two parallel lines cut by a transversal, then alternate interior angles are congruent. If the measure of angle CGH is equal to 40 degrees, therefore the measure of angle BHG is 40 degrees. How about if the measure of angle AHG is 140 degrees? Find the measure of angle DGH. Again, always remember the rule. If two parallel lines cut by a transversal, then alternate interior angles are congruent. If the measure of angle AHG is 140 degrees, therefore the measure of angle DGH is 140 degrees. Another one. Let us find the measure of angle BHF. Given the measure of angle CGE, which is 140 degrees. For this problem, remember and take note with this rule. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then alternate exterior angles are congruent. If the measure of angle CGE is equal to 140 degrees, therefore, angle BHF is equal to 140 degrees. Another, find the measure of angle AHF. Given the measure of angle DGE, which is equal to 40 degrees. Again, remember the rule, if two parallel lines cut by a transversal, then alternate interior angles are congruent. If the measure of angle DGE is equal to 40 degrees, therefore the measure of angle AHF is equal to 40 degrees. Next, what is the measure of angle AHG? If the measure of angle CGH is equal to 40 degrees. Okay, for this problem, remember this rule. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, same side interior angles are supplementary. When we say supplementary, the sum of two angles must be equal to 180 degrees. If the measure of angle CGH is equal to 40 degrees, to get the measure of angle AHG, subtract 180 degrees and 40 degrees. Therefore, the measure of angle AHG is equal to 140 degrees. Next example. What is the measure of angle TGH if the measure of angle BHG is 40 degrees? Again, remember the rule. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, same side interior angles are supplementary. If the measure of angle BHG is equal to 40 degrees, therefore the measure of angle DGH is equal to 140 degrees. Another problem. What is the measure of angle EHF if the measure of angle CGE is equal to 140 degrees? Take note with this rule. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, same side exterior angles are supplementary. If the measure of angle CGE is equal to 140 degrees, therefore the measure of angle AHF is equal to 40 degrees. Last one. What is the measure of angle BHF if the measure of angle DGE is equal to 40 degrees? Again, think about the rule. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, same side exterior angles are supplementary. If the measure of angle DGE is equal to 40 degrees, therefore the measure of angle BHF is equal to 140 degrees. Is it clear? For further understanding, let us find the unknown angle measure in this figure. If the measure of angle 1 is equal to 55 degrees, what are the measure of angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, and angle 8? Let us answer number 1. What will be the measure of angle 2? If angle 1 and angle 2 are linear pair, then they are supplementary. Therefore, measure of angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees minus 55 degrees is equal to 125 degrees. Number 2. Find the measure of angle 3. If angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles, then they are congruent. Therefore, measure of angle 3 is equal to 55 degrees. What is the measure of angle 4? If angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles, then they are congruent. Therefore, the measure of angle 4 is equal to 125 degrees. For number 4, what is the measure of angle 5? If angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles, then they are congruent. Therefore, the measure of angle 5 is equal to 55 degrees. For number 5, what is the measure of angle 6? If angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles, then they are congruent. Therefore, the measure of angle 6 is equal to 125 degrees. Okay, for number 6, what is the measure of angle 7? If angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles, then they are congruent. Therefore, the measure of angle 7 is equal to 55 degrees. For number 7, what is the measure of angle 8? If angle 1 and angle 8 are same side exterior angles, then they are supplementary. Therefore, measure of angle 8 is equal to 180 degrees minus 55 degrees. So, the answer is 125 degrees. So, that's how you learn parallel lines cut by a transversal in the new normal way. Alright, you can practice your skills more in this lesson by doing your activity sheets. I hope you learn from this discussion. Let me discover whether you have attained the learning competency from your learning module on parallel lines cut by a transversal through the outputs you will be submitting. Always bear in mind that there are better things than getting high scores. What is important is you learn from your mistakes and become better learner at the end. Our dear parents, your guidance can make a difference on how well your children can accomplish the learning task. Kindly provide assistance. Thank you. If you have questions, just message your mathematics teachers. I am sure they could help you. I know you can do it, learners. God bless in answering your learning modules. Once again, this is your radio teacher, Teacher Jelly Marila of Bamban National High School. Goodbye everyone and have a good day.